All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Triple Threat Show live on YouTube at the Triple Threat Show. Uh, yeah, that's where we're live right now. It
Yep.
is currently Tuesday, June 7th. Uh, we're going to have a really good show. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got some hockey playoffs. The Avalanche swept the Oilers. We have NBA Finals to talk about. There's been some crazy stuff going on in the NFL. And of course, we have our weekly MLB recap to talk about. But
Okay,
before
more
we
than
get into
just
the
a recap.
show, just the recap, more than just the recap, you know. Before we get into the show, uh, hosted by me, Jeremy Lapidus, and my two friends and co-hosts.
Shane Brisland.
Oh, Hayden
Whoa,
Raymer.
whoa, this is out of order. What is happening here?
What?
What?
Never mind. Anyway, before we get into the
I'm
show,
always last.
I know you're always last. I just confusing me.
Okay.
Shane's last name confused me because he never says his last name.
Okay.
I figured it might as well include it this time.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's be different.
It's my parents' anniversary, so happy anniversary.
Oh, congrats. How many years is it?
25. Big
Oof.
25. Yeah. So congratulations to them. It was my little sister's birthday 2 days ago.
All the big events in the Lapidus family.
Yeah, everything's going on. So happy birthday to her. Happy anniversary to my parents. And how has your week gone, guys?
Working sucks.
Where are you working?
I work at Lowe's, and I found out the guy who just got hired is getting paid more than me. So,
Bro, go talk to someone.
no, yeah, I sent them an email, and then I'm going to go in tomorrow and see what's up. I better get a raise because that's just BS. Other than that, really not much going on, like very minute details. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on.
All right, what about you, Hayden? How's your week been?
Good. I just tweeted out the link on my Twitter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, I mean it's been good. I worked yesterday and today I had off. I'm working like 18 hours. No, that's wrong. What's 18 plus 9? 27 hours the next like 4 days. So that's gonna be
Solid.
fun. Other than that, I mean, I actually got my. Ooh, let me show you guys.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Where did I put it? Did I already lose it? Oh, it's right here in front of me. I got my Valley Baseball League season pass, so now I can go to any game and just write about baseball for them. You know, I can bring a guest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's got the commissioner's name on it.
Where's the local team for the Valley League?
Harrisonburg. They
Really?
play at Veterans Park where the Dukes play.
All right.
Yeah, no, they have like all sorts of. I mean, it's up and down the Shenandoah Valley, so you know, it's nothing's more than like an hour and a half drive away from me. I think like the farthest up north is like right when you get on the 66 from 81, Strasburg, but yeah.
All right, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. That's fun.
So how's life back in America, Jeremy?
Oh, it's so great. I got to go home. For anyone that was watching our last couple shows, I was in Israel on birthright, and then I was stuck in Israel in quarantine. And the first part was great, and the second part wasn't as great. But I got home a couple days ago, and I got to see my family and stuff, and it's great. It's good to be home. Israel was awesome, but it's good to be home. Yeah.
So true, Jeremy. I'm glad you're
actually able to watch sports now.
Yes, that's the big thing. I couldn't watch sports for the last 2 weeks, and it was really killing me. So I got to sit down and watch some sports, and it was.
All right. So like, what was your favorite thing to watch so far?
So far, I've been watching that third period of last night's NHL game was insane.
Crazy game, yeah.
I watched the last period and a half of that game, and that was insane. First of all,
jump right into the Avs Oilers series?
Yeah, sure, we
All
can
right.
do that.
Wait. Sorry. No, I'm just trying to figure something out.
All
What's
right.
up?
It's baseball related. We can talk about hockey though.
All right. So just to recap, the Avs just decimated the Oilers, swept them in 4 games. Like, it's the Connor McDavid and Draisaitl show, and that was basically it. Mike Smith looked awful. There was a reason why I was very low on him. He's either looks lights out or he's letting everything in. And in this series, he was letting everything in. So, but Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, they both had over 30 points and they didn't even make it to the Stanley Cup final. Like most years, and probably this year, they're going to lead the league in the playoffs, even though they're out in the semifinals. But it'll be interesting to see what Edmonton does this offseason because there's a lot of questions on that roster. Like, can they pay Evander Kane? Who's going to be the new goaltender? Because you're not going back to a 42-year-old Mike Smith. Mikko Koskinen hasn't looked good. But they were also going against a very good Avs team. Colorado was projected to go to the best in the West this year. They were projected to go to the Cup final. And it's just kind of more of the predictable outcome. But man, do they look good.
Yeah, no. I just want to highlight Draisaitl a little bit because he played that entire series visibly hurt.
He played the entire playoffs visibly hurt. He's always had he's had that ankle issue for the entire playoffs so far.
Yeah, but he played visibly hurt. He played his heart out. He played incredible. And I know it's gonna haunt him because they lost this game, and it's not his fault at all because he played incredibly. But he did have an open net opportunity in that third period off a nice feed on a power play. He just kept it a little wide, and that's the thing that's going to haunt him for a very long time. Because you never know what's going to happen. That goal probably wins them the game. At that point, it would have tied it up, but probably wins them the game. And you never know what happens after you win. Obviously, they probably weren't coming back from 3-0, but that stings.
Just imagine what he could have done if he was fully healthy.
Yeah. He had 4 assists in that game, which is crazy. 4 points in a game is nothing to scoff at.
Mm-hmm.
And McDavid is just so much fun to watch on the ice. There was one point, I think, late in the second period. He didn't score on it, but he had a break. He had a little one-on-one, just a little spin move around the dude. Casual spin move, sent him flying. You don't see many broken ankles on the ice, but that was one of them. He's just so much faster than everyone.
Yeah,
it's so much fun to watch. And hopefully he has another chance to be back. You never know in the NHL.
I don't think he's gonna make it that far in Edmonton unless there's a dramatic change. I don't think Edmonton's ever gonna make it this far again.
Well,
No?
I mean, you said the biggest issue for them is goaltending now.
Yeah.
So as long as
there's a lot of holes on the roster, and they're not easy to fix. So they gotta, and again, the salary cap's not getting any higher, so it's just gonna be
salary cap's not getting any higher.
No, it's not. It's going up by 1 million.
Wow, the NHL is failing.
Oh yeah. Luckily though, revenue was really good this year. So, and then ESPN and TNT so much better than NBC. I love the broadcasting crew for TNT, and I like what ESPN's done so far. So hopefully in the future, maybe they could. I think being on ESPN definitely helps because I've watched so much more hockey than I would have if it wasn't on ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this league is definitely heading in a better direction. So, and these playoffs were so great to watch. All these high scoring games, and it's good to see the superstars make these deep runs.
No,
So
I love me a goalie battle.
Yeah.
I love me a goalie battle. I love me a pitcher's duel. Those are my favorite games to watch. I love that.
Yeah. Speaking of goalies, Darcy Kemper went out with an injury. I can't remember.
I did see that. I was going to ask you about that because they were starting Francois, and I was like, I'm 90% or whatever.
Franco, yeah, hard for names to pronounce.
Whatever.
He's Czech, not French Canadian.
And I, for the life of me, I was like, this guy isn't the starter. I swear he's not the starter. And I meant to ask you about that because something in the back of my mind was like, this dude isn't the starter here.
Yeah, Darcy Kemper notoriously gets injured a lot. So I didn't expect Darcy Kemper to play a full 16 wins. Like if he made it that far, he wasn't going to play all of them just because I figured he was going to get injured at some point. Because he used to play for the Wild. He actually upset his rookie debut was in the playoffs, and he helped the Wild beat the Colorado Avalanche. It was a huge upset at the time. And then he kind of like floated around, and then he like really reestablished himself in Arizona, and then Colorado acquired him. But then he's just always injured, which is a really big problem. But Franco, suitable backup. Like he'll stop everything he needs to. He's not bad, but he's not good. Like he'll stop all this. He'll make all the saves you need, but he's not going to steal you a game. And when you're in front of a good team like Colorado, that's all you need at that point because they have the best defensive core in the league.
Right. Yeah. But the Avalanche have been on a hell of a run. They only lost 2 games this entire playoffs. They are the
oh yeah, they did.
That's the 4th time since 2000. This is the 4th time since 2000 that has happened, and the 2nd time since 2000 that they have swept in 2 series. The only other time that happened was in 2003.
Kings? No.
With the Anaheim Ducks. Quack quack baby.
Quack quack.
In 2003, they swept 2 series and lost in the Stanley Cup Finals. So we don't talk about the ending there, but
hey, they got one eventually.
Yeah, but the Avalanche have just been on a tear through the Western Conference, and I'm excited to see them in the finals against one of these 2 teams in the East, being the Rangers or the Lightning.
Yeah. So Rangers and Lightning, I think when a team sweeps and you get all that time off waiting for the other series to end, like you either look really fresh or you just look rusty. And Tampa Bay has looked very rusty these past 2 games against the Rangers when they were playing them at home. Like this is not the same Tampa team. The Tampa team just looked awful.
There's also the fact of, you kind of mentioned it in passing, home ice advantage.
Yeah.
The Rangers play in Madison Square Garden. That is an historic arena for multiple sports. People in New York are incredibly passionate about sports. That place is one of if not the best home ice advantages in all of the NHL, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, it obviously matters a lot. And it's something that people don't think about until they're already there a lot of the time. Especially, it's one of the last things you think about when you're looking at a matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a massive factor, and I think that's something we overlooked.
Yeah,
when we were
you can really
about
feel the energy of the crowd through
Right.
the TV. Like you hear all the Igor chants. Like it's a very passionate arena. It's nice to get that feel for the crowd through the TV.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, even in really nice, or even in a lot of really passionate places, you don't always feel the crowd through the TV. That's a level of fan support that is hard to get to. And I know it's the playoffs, so you're going to get that in a lot of places. But that's a massive advantage that the Rangers have there.
Yeah, and I got to give props to the New York Rangers. I didn't give them a lot of credit, as we talked about last show. Mika Zibanejad has been awesome for the Rangers. He's been everything you need of him. He's a goal scorer, and he's been doing all of that. And then that kid line of Alexis Lafreniere, Philip Hedl, and Capo Caco, all of them 22, 21, 20. They've been lighting up. Philip Hedl had like 2 goals in game 1 or something like that. That line's looked really good. Like in playoffs, you need that depth scoring. And then, but Tampa's not dead yet. The 3 straight goals to get that victory in the last minute of the third.
Yeah.
They're still the 3-time defending Cup champs. They're not going down that easy.
Right, and I've talked about it before. I think a goal in the last minute of a period, and especially in a game, a goal in the last minute is one of the most demoralizing things.
Especially in the third period to get your team the lead.
I think that's one of those things that even if you had the momentum, even if you had so much momentum, if you give up a goal in the last minute to lose a game, especially, the wind in your sail is gone. Your balloon is popped. You don't have any momentum anymore.
And especially up by 2.
Right, and I'm curious to see how the Rangers rebound, because if they come out slow in this first period, I think it's going to be a bit of an issue for them in the long run. They have to come out with energy tonight. They have to come out. They don't have to win the first period, but they need to come out and they need to show something, show that they still have that the fight there, the drive, I guess. That's not the right way to put it, but they need to show the fight if they want to stay in this series. They need to show that tonight.
Yeah. Also, Adam Fox also has looked really good for the Rangers. He won the Best Defenseman award last year, and he's had an incredible run, a huge point streak in the playoffs so far.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the home field advantage. Again, New York Rangers couldn't get a win against Carolina in the last round except for Game 7, and now it's like home field advantage for Tampa too.
Right. Yeah. It goes both ways, obviously, but I think the Rangers have a bigger advantage with that crowd in New York.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. The last game was really the first time we had the inkling of the goaltender battle a little bit. So I'm excited to see more of that. I'm so excited for this series.
Yeah. Who do you think would be a better matchup for Colorado? Who would you rather see more?
A better matchup for Colorado? See, I think both of these teams, they're not the same, but I think they're similar, I guess, is a way of putting it. I think they both match up against Colorado. I'm gonna say the Lightning. They've got more experience, but at the same time, I think the Rangers are built similarly to the way the Lightning are. You know, world-class goaltender, some solid defensemen, and a pretty good forward lineup there. Maybe one or two. They might not have the depth that the Lightning have, but I think they're built very similarly. So I think both of them give a good matchup there.
The Braden Point injury definitely hurts. I forgot that he was injured because they decimated Florida without him. And I'm like, oh, forgot. That's still a huge loss to the lineup, losing a guy like Braden Point.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see, I don't know, it's just the Cale Makar versus the Adam Fox in the Stanley Cup final. The battle of like the two new age young defensemen. I feel like that would be an entertaining storyline going into this.
It's not to mention that the Avalanche are a little beat up, you know?
Oh, yeah, Nazem Kadri.
Yeah. You know, he got hurt. Landeskog kept going down last night. I know he played the whole game, but he went down a couple times in the second and third period. And I don't know, they seem like they were getting beat up by the Oilers a lot. I mean, they obviously swept them, so it didn't matter, and they've got time to heal now, which is the most important thing for them. But they're a little beat up right now. So
yeah, I would be worried about Nazem. If Nazem Kadri's not playing by the Stanley Cup final, that's very worrisome. He's been really good for them.
Right. That's the big one.
All right. So they also announced a few NHL awards.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Coach of the Year, Gary Sutter of the Calgary Flames won it. I was saying like last show, like he did the most to improve that Calgary team. Johnny Gaudreau, that line had a new spark underneath them. That had a good defensive system. Congrats to him and all the other nominees. And then your favorite award, the best defensive forward, went to Patrice Bergeron again.
Of course.
That's not what the award's called. Call it what it is.
The Selke Award?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you hated. When
I
used
do,
the actual name.
but you have to use the actual name if you're gonna,
Yeah.
because then you just defeat the whole point of having it be called something else. You got to call it.
Yeah.
It's like the subtitle for the Selkie or Selkie, however you say
Selkie.
it. The
Yeah.
Selkie. It's like a subtitle. It's the best defenseman award. You got to include it all together to build that
Gotcha.
brand recognition.
Yeah, that was his fifth time getting that trophy. He has been the best two-way forward of this past decade. He's a do-it-all center. He can score. You can put him on the power play. You can put him in the last seconds of a game to make sure the other team doesn't score. He can kill penalties. He maintains possession. And from what I'm hearing, and I also agree with this sentiment, is that he's a Hall of Fame center. Like the most complete center, and just hearing how players talk about him, being a captain of the Boston Bruins, an original six franchise, and being that well respected throughout the entire league, he's got that Hall of Fame resume. He's easily a first ballot if he retires.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's been very good. He's been insane for as long as I can remember. You know, he's been the leader of that team, a team that's constantly contended for cups. While he's been there, you know, I agree. I think he's absolutely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Also insanely clutch too, because I think there was a playoff run. They eventually lost the Blackhawks, but when Boston lost the Blackhawks, he was like the leading scorer for Boston, and he was playing through broken ribs, a punctured lung, you know, some leg injury, and he was still the best player for the Boston Bruins. It was insane how tough he was and the stuff he went through.
Right. No, he's very good at hockey.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of Boston news. So they also fired their head coach, Bruce Cassidy.
They did do that.
That doesn't really surprise me all that too much, because I've kind of heard that from rumors that the players were kind of getting sick of him. And I feel like this is, if just having the conversation that Bergeron is retiring, I feel like it's kind of time to start a new era in Boston, because Chara's gone, Tuukka's gone, and now Bergeron. And then you also lost David Krejci last year. I feel like this is kind of, Boston's got to figure out, what are they doing heading forward? Like, what are you going to do with this team? I feel like you either stick to it or you just blow it up. And I think they're more closer to the blowing it up than they are to try to compete.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You know, I still think Boston is a team that has.
There's so many pieces still.
If Bergeron comes back, and this is the if here, if Bergeron comes back,
big if,
then I believe they still have their window isn't completely shut. You know, they went all in. They traded for like a bunch of pieces at the deadline. You know, they gave up a lot for it too. You know, it doesn't make sense to do that, and then just blow it up right away. This is all contingent on Bergeron coming back. If he does not come back, try to contend, and if you're not doing it, which, you know, I don't see why they wouldn't. They are still good enough. They still have, you know, Pasternak, and they still have Marchand, and they still have McAvoy, and they traded for Hampus Lindholm, and they have all these pieces. They've got two solid young goaltenders. You know, I don't really understand the move of firing the coach. I understand if the players don't like him, but I hadn't heard that. I know you just said that, but I hadn't heard that before now. I don't know. Maybe they go get Barry Trotz. Maybe that's their play.
My sneaking suspicion was Bergeron may have mentioned, well, if you want me to come back, maybe a new head coach would be nice.
Right.
And just immediately the guy gets the can. Mm-hmm. That was kind of just my thought process behind it.
Maybe they go get Barry Trotz. You know,
that would be a great fit. That would be a great fit.
I think that's the kind of the thing that Trotz is looking for too. He's not going to go to a shitty team. He's going to try and go to a contender. Yeah. And Boston, I don't see why not. I think he could absolutely keep him in contention for a couple more years.
He's going to love Charlie McAvoy, just that sturdy two-way defenseman, really responsible defensively, like fits perfectly within Trotz's system.
Right.
And then Boston is going to have a difficult start to next season because Charlie McAvoy and Brad Marchand are both out long-term recovering from surgery. It sounds like they're going to miss the start of the season, maybe up till November, December.
Mm.
So they're going to lose. So potentially they could lose Bergeron. They're going to lose Marchand for the start of the season. They're going to lose their best defenseman in Charlie McAvoy for the start of the season. And they're also going to lose one of their top 4 defensemen in Matt Grzelcyk at the start of the season because he's getting surgery too. Right. So that is a very, very decimated lineup with all those pieces possibly not going to be there at the start.
Yep.
So that's a bit of the Boston Bruins preview so far. And I believe that's all we have to cover for hockey, I believe. I don't think there's much else going on.
I didn't see anything else.
Yeah.
All right. Hayden.
Jeremy.
You want to talk about some baseball?
No.
Okay. Do it anyway.
Okay. Well, so there's like 2 things that happened today. I'm gonna quick talk about. Well, one's super quick. The other one, it's a little bit of
quick. Yeah.
Not so quick.
Not so quick.
Steven Strasburg, Nationals legend, 2019 World Series MVP, hasn't thrown a pitch in the major leagues in over a year. It's only over a year by like 4 days. But he's going to be having his first major league start in over a year on Thursday against the Miami Marlins. He's going to be facing off against Trevor Rogers, who was a rookie last year, was really good. And then this year he's kind of been really not good. But, should be a fun matchup. Wish him the best of luck because, it kind of sucks, not being able to pitch when you're just hurt all the time.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Not fun.
Not fun at all.
And then the more not fun news, the Angels, after losing 12 games in a row now, I believe.
Yep, 12 games.
They decided to fire their manager, World Series champion Joe Madden. He won a World Series with the Cubs in 2016, broke their curse. And they were like, yeah, no, sorry, Joe. You're out of here. And they, I believe they promoted their bench coach up to the managerial spot. They were winning the division 2 weeks ago. Or not 2 weeks ago, but what was it?
They were 27-17. I don't know how long ago that was.
It was 20 games ago.
It's 12 games ago. They were 27-17. And I believe now they're 27-29.
Oh, is it?
So,
I don't know how to count. I'm looking. 27-29. Yeah, you're right. Good job. Good job, Jeremy.
Thank you. I did my research.
Good job. Snaps for Jeremy, everybody. Honestly. Snaps for Jeremy doing research. Who would have thought? But yeah, no, it'll be interesting. We'll see if it does anything. Taylor Ward's been out, and he was kind of like the big thing that he was like their spark plug, He was the guy who kind of had a breakout year, was looking really good. Mike Trout's slumping a little bit. Otani kind of got lit up in his last start. So it's like, how much of it isn't Madden's fault? Because, we talked about this before on the show, where, managers don't really matter. And then, they just fired their manager and kind of just made him the scapegoat.
As much as they don't matter, right? Because, they don't matter. They matter to the clubhouse. They set the tone. If stuff isn't going well, and, a 12-game losing streak, stuff isn't going well, you need a manager to come in and find out how to turn it around. They're not gonna change how these people play on the field, but they could add that little, pep in their step that they need to fight through a close game. Get through that get that mental toughness, that you're gonna need in a tough stretch.
Yeah, firing a manager or head coach, it's usually that's what you do when you just want to spark the team, when you just want to get the boys going again. You got to light that spark, light that fire underneath them, just to give them a new voice, just to give them a new perspective and get them going again.
And Joe Madden's, he'll be okay. He's got the pedigree. he turned the Rays around. He, won a World Series with the Cubs. He seemingly had the Angels going in the right directions until just now. He'll find a job next season, probably.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of where he could go.
Well, he could go to the Reds. He could go to the Nationals. Go to the Pirates. Go to the Phillies. Phillies might be a spot for him.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I know, right?
I hate that thought. Texas, the Rangers would be fun. They're up and coming.
I was just thinking of places that might fire their manager.
Nationals aren't firing Davey.
You sure?
They're not firing Davey, Jeremy.
Okay.
Why not?
Because one, he's won the World Series. I think he's a half decent manager, and he's better than what he used to be, at least at bullpen management. He's kind of just handed a really bad team.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think less of the issues lie in Davey, and less of the issues are his fault and more on the people he hired. Because I think they had a pitching coach who they promoted from AAA back in 19, Paul Menhart. And I know Jim Hickey, the current pitching coach, is like a former clubhouse. Like he was the pitching coach when they were both on the Cubs, right? And it's just, I don't like Jim Hickey. I think he hasn't done a good job with the pitchers, because they just walk everybody. Like, quite literally, they have one of the worst walk rates in the league. It's more than a guy per game, more than the league average. They just have not been good. But that's a different conversation, really. Yeah, Joe Madden, he'll be fine. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how well this is going to work out for them. It's a tough division. Astros are going to run away with it right now. The Mariners are still creeping around. And then the A's and Rangers suck. So,
Yeah. And they, how many years? I know Trout's locked down. How many years is Ohtani locked down for? Do you know?
No, but I can blow up real quick.
Because they have about that long before Ohtani goes and fucks off. Because unless the Angels can prove that they are contenders, he's not re-signing with them.
Next year is his last year on his rookie deal, kind of, so to speak.
Right. So they've got 2 years to figure it out, including this year. Because he's not re-signing unless they show something,
Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of money. I mean, they don't have a ton of money on the books. They're still a decent amount below the luxury cap, and
they're not re-signing. He's not going to. He basically said it last year. He said he wants to play for a winner.
True.
You have to win. He's not
going to the Nationals.
Yeah. The Nationals are only 9.5 games out of a wild card spot.
Well, I'm not saying this year. I'm saying Steven Strasburg is about to be super healthy.
Right.
And then he's going to start hitting too. He's like, Ohtani, bro, this guy sucks. And then he's going to start doing it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit nukes.
Hit nukes. At least one.
At least one. He's hit a home run before.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But he doesn't hit.
He can do it again.
They don't hit anymore.
Ohtani does it.
Davey's not about to pinch hit Steven Strasburg.
After coming off of thoracic outlet syndrome, I think he will.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I mean, he can't. You say he can't throw. Well, he can hit, right? Anyways, I mean, the only really super big contract other than Trout is Rendon's, which. Oh my! I didn't realize how bad this contract was.
Oh no, it's bad. He got broken off. He had an MVP season. His contract here.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize they gave him 7 years, $245 million.
No, he got paid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's making $38 million next year. for the next 4 years after this one. He's making 36.5 this year. I mean, he's making 38.5 the others too. But wow, I didn't realize how big of a contract he had. That's
Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good for him.
He got paid like the best third baseman because that year when he stayed healthy.
Oh, he was a top 5 player in baseball.
Yeah, he was the best third baseman. He got paid like he was when he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been able to stay healthy for the Angels, and he never really, other than maybe 1 or 2 seasons, he never was really healthy for the Nats either.
I mean, he's gonna play in 115 games this year, and he's projected to put up 3.6 WAR.
That's solid.
Yeah,
he's still a really good player. It's just
he's
not worth that much money.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at Anthony Rendon's Fangraphs page, and I guess I never really realized how good he was those 4 years.
Yeah, no, he was insane.
Or those 3 years. That 2020 was terrifying. Anyways, speaking of managers getting fired, the original conversation, the Phillies, they were the inspiration maybe for the Angels, because they also fired their manager. They haven't been good after spending a ton of money, and they fired Joe Girardi, another highly touted great manager.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's with the Yankees for a long time, won a couple rings.
Yeah. It's just I'm sitting here, right? I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And this one surprises me even more.
Yeah, this one shocked me more than the Angels one.
Because the Angels just aren't, they just consistently underperform, right? Which you're like, okay, yeah, the manager light a spark under their butts, as you guys were saying with Madden. This one, you can't really do that with this team. Because I think fundamentally the way they constructed this roster is just awful.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They have 3 DHs right now.
To be fair,
mm-hmm.
They have 4 outfielders and 3 DHs, right?
4 outfielders and 3 DHs.
Well, those 3 DHs are also in the outfield.
Well, Bryce Harper can't play in the outfield right now, remember?
Right, yes.
Torn UCL.
Yeah, but even before then, we talked about it a little bit on the show. They were playing their best defender in the outfield as a DH for some reason.
Yeah.
And maybe that went into it. Obviously, they've not been very good this season.
No.
And what are you gonna do?
I don't know. It's just a really poorly constructed roster. It's just not good. The bullpen isn't really that bad. It's just the defense and just how awful it is just amplifies how bad it is so much. And that's all I can do is just put my hands on my head because I just don't get it.
We don't care. Fuck the Phillies.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, we don't like the Phillies.
Okay.
No, but yes, the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
They're weird. They built up an offense.
Yeah.
And they were like, who cares about a defense?
And the offense is, not the best in the league. It's 8th best in the league by OPS.
Still pretty good.
I mean, it's still pretty good, but when you're having, a lineup with your top 5 is Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, and JT Realmuto, I expect a little bit more.
Yeah. It's very, 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 very good lineup.
Yeah.
But didn't get the job done. I don't know what else there is.
Yeah.
There's not much you can look at They have the talent to turn it around. I will say this: the Phillies have the talent to turn it around. It's turning to summer. Summer is when the sluggers come out. The ball's gonna fly further. The Phillies have a bunch of sluggers. If they're gonna get going, they're gonna get going in a couple weeks, maybe even this week.
I mean, I think they've been decent since since they fired Girardi. They've been pretty good.
It's been like they've been like 2 games.
I think they won 1 or 2.
And they played the Angels. So.
Oh yeah, they swept the Angels.
Yeah. So, that's what's happened since then, and we talked about the Angels.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a question for you guys, real quick.
Yeah.
Who do you think? So, of these 2 teams, right? Before the season, they had playoff aspirations. Right now, I can tell you how many games back they're behind in their division. Angels are back 8.5. Phillies are back 11.5. Who do you think is more likely to make the playoffs?
Neither of these teams are going to win their division. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to put it out there. Neither of these teams are going to win the division. So then you go to the wild card standings, right? And you think about it in the East. And I think the Phillies have a better shot because I think the NL is less deep than the AL. I think the AL has more possible playoff teams.
Yeah,
than
that's what it's looking
NL
like.
Does. I think the Angels. I love the Angels, I do, but they have to compete with teams like the Blue Jays and the Red Sox if they turn it around, and even the Mariners and the Twins and the White Sox.
The Rays.
The Rays, yeah. All of these teams are playoff contenders, and then you go to the NL, and outside of the division winners, you have the Cardinals, you have the
Padres.
You have the Padres, and it doesn't go much deeper than that,
So you're both saying Phillies?
Yeah, just because same reasons. There's just less teams to compete with.
I will say I don't think either of these teams make the playoffs. I don't think either of them do. But also, like I was saying, the sluggers come out in the summer, and the summer is right around the corner, if not already here.
Yeah.
So I think the Phillies have an easier turnaround than the Angels do.
Yeah. Another fun thing to support the Phillies argument a little bit. The Phillies are yet to play the Washington Nationals. They haven't played them at all this year, and they played 19 more against them. So, you know,
Phillies, yeah.
That does help them a little bit. I'm gonna be honest though, I have more faith in the Angels.
They definitely got the better talent.
You talk about sluggers coming out in the summer.
I don't know. It's just Mike Trout.
And you got Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Rendon, and Taylor Ward.
Those big names could definitely get it done.
No, I understand what you're saying, but it's not just the bats. You look at the arms. The Phillies have Zach Wheeler. They have Aaron Nola. Those are 2 pretty solid starting pitchers right there.
Yeah, Wheeler's a Cy Young candidate.
Right.
Wheeler's a Cy Young candidate. Nola's solid.
Yeah. And then you, at the Angels, you've got Shohei.
Lorenzen's been really good.
I don't know. I think the Phillies have a better chance. I like the Angels as a team more. I do. I think they have a much better built team, but I think if you're talking about making the playoffs, the Angels' route to the playoffs is much harder than the Phillies.
Fair. All right. And then, real quick, we got to give some snaps for Yordan Alvarez. Signed this massive free agent deal, or not free agent, but extension.
6 years, 115.
I think he'll get way more of that after that deal because he's a DH, and as long as his knee doesn't combust, which is a possibility, very real possibility, he's gonna be playing for a long time because he's just an amazing hitter. He's a top 5 hitter in the league. Any other thoughts for that?
Yordan is one of the best hitter in the league. He's still
top 5 hitter.
3rd or 4th year pro now. Yeah.
He was a rookie in 2019.
Okay, So third year, maybe. I don't know. I'm not trying to do math right
2020. So this is he's in his fourth year.
Yeah.
If you're including the shortened 2020, which I don't think he played in. But, he gets the service time for it all.
He's very good. Yeah, he deserves it. He'll get more money. He's going to sign a second contract. He's young enough that he's going to get a second contract.
Mm-hmm.
What is he, like 22 now, 23?
Oh, he's older than that. He's 24. He's going to turn 25 later this month.
He's going to get out of this contract when he's 31. 30, 31.
Mm-hmm.
And, then he'll sign like a solid 3-4 year deal maybe somewhere.
Yeah, no, as long as his knee holds up, his knee is quite literally duct taped together. The fact that the Astros let him play in the field is quite scary. Like, every single time I watch that guy out in the field, I, wince. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now, my final question for you guys. There's 5 really good teams, in my opinion, right now, in baseball. 5 that I think are making a pretty good showing, good numbers this year. Of them, or, outside of them, I didn't name the 5. Who do you think is the best team in baseball right now?
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Good answer.
It's the typical safe answer, yeah.
That is a safe answer, yeah.
So, for me, I was looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
It was between 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
It was between the Dodgers, like Shane said. That's a terrifying lineup.
Yes, yeah.
I've talked about it before. It's maybe the best lineup of all time. Terrifying. You've got the pitching too. Clayton Kershaw's been solid this year, and then
I think he's hurt, isn't he?
I don't know, but he's been fine. He's been solid. You got Urias too. That bullpen's very good.
He is hurt.
Yeah, he'll be back. He was good.
His next start is he'll be back. Yeah, this week next.
Yeah.
Before next year, he'll be back.
Yeah, but he was solid in the beginning of the season, and we talked about the lineup already. Mm-hmm. And the other team that it was between was the New York Yankees. New York Yankees, their pitching has had a revival. It's been
Mustache Man.
Yeah, Nestor Cortez has been insane. And I saw a stat. I saw solid stash.
Really, I don't think Shane understood the Mustache Man bit. So really great mustache.
It really is a solid stash. But in the last month, I saw a tweet about this. They were 15-2, the pitchers,
mm-hmm.
and they had a 2.3 ERA. I know
what tweet you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what tweet. You know what tweet I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. But
that pitching is insane. Aaron Judge is on pace, or was on pace, to beat the home run record. He was at the end of last month.
He's got 21 home runs. I didn't.
Yeah. No, he's been insane.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge is going off.
Real quick, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I know how much me and my, X whatever stats, with all
mm-hmm.
the letters in it.
Mm-hmm.
He is underperforming his WOBA, according to Statcast. He has a 465 expected WOBA, which is weighted on base average. His actual WOBA is 444, which if you park adjust and league average it, he's 100% better than league average player.
That's terrifying.
He's twice as good as league average player.
Yeah. He's going off. You still have a really solid lineup behind him. Mm-hmm. And for all those reasons, I'm picking the Yankees as the best team in the league right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. That's fair. Both fair answers. But I think...
Don't say the Mets.
No, I'm not going to say the Mets. I'm going to say something even dumber.
Okay.
So there's this one team who plays in the NL West who's missing someone who is argued as...
Don't say the next 3 words, Hayden.
Someone who's argued to be the best player in baseball by some.
Hayden,
Someone who You know, if not for a really dumb,
Hayden,
drive on a motorcycle.
Hayden, please do not say these next 3 words.
The
Please.
San Diego Padres
God
are pretty
damn
good. Can I read you their
Yes,
starting
please.
rotation
Please
quick?
prove this to me. Please
Okay.
prove this to me.
So you ready for the starting rotation, Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start with the guy who's been performing the best, Joe Musgrove, right?
Yes, Joe Musgrove.
Let me tell you his ERA real quick. Joe Musgrove.
Very good.
Joe Musgrove has a 1.64 ERA. He has 1.9 F4 in 10 starts. He's been, without a doubt, one of the best pitchers in the league. He's been really good.
Yeah.
Joe Musgrove, really good. If you want to talk about really good pitching, Joe Musgrove, he's right up there with Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole. He's up there with Martin Perez, that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do they have there, Jeremy? They have Sean Manaea.
Yeah.
Sean Manaea's been really good. Hasn't been as good as Joe Musgrove, but, he's been one of the best left-handed pitchers in the league. And he has a 3.77 ERA. According to his FIP, he's underperforming a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mackenzie Gore, that prospect who was never quite was doing as good as they thought he was going to do. He has 1.5 ERA in 8 starts in 9 games.
Right.
You
Darvish. You haven't you Darvish.
You Darvish, who I haven't mentioned yet.
Very good.
Mike Clevenger is back from injuries. And Blake Snell. They have so many starting pitchers, they don't know what to do with them. They also have that Dinelson Lamet guy, kind of just hanging out. They have Ryan Weathers, who's really good. I don't know if you know about Ryan Weathers. He's a really fun lefty. That bullpen's really good. Taylor Rogers, Morejón, Craig Stammen, Nick Martinez, Tim Hill.
Craig Stammen, baby.
Craig Stammen.
We love Craig Stammen.
I mean, listen, he's not a guy you want setting up, but having that guy in your bullpen makes you better.
Craig Stammen. Craig Stammen's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm. Who's been really good in the lineup, Jeremy?
Who's that?
Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, I know.
So is Eric Hosmer. Who's one of the worst performers for this team right now?
Will Myers.
No, well, Will Myers is hurt right now. Luke Voigt has not been good. He's like the worst hitter in that lineup right now. Manny Machado has been the best player in baseball. They're doing all of this without Fernando Tatis Jr.
It's true. They are. You know what I have to say to that? They're not even the best team in their division.
That's because they don't have Fernando Tatis Jr. yet. And he's going to be back soon.
Hayden.
He's going to be back in the next 2 weeks.
Hayden. Let me rephrase this. Let me tell you what your question was. It was who is currently the best team in baseball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was
currently,
my question. Yeah.
As we speak, the San Diego Padres are not even the best team in their own division.
Well, then I would have just said the Yankees because they have the best record. If I wanted to take the question literally,
it's nothing to do with record.
One would say that winning the most games makes you the best team. Would they not?
No, I understand, but it's not the goddamn Padres.
Shane, do you understand where I'm coming from here?
I do, but again, it's currently right now, and currently they still don't have their best players, so
you can't say they're going.
There's not
to
really
be
much
the
of an
best.
argument if
you can't
they're
say
missing
they're
one
going
of their
to,
best players right now.
You can't say they may not be the best right now, but they are going to be the best when they get this dude back.
Listen, when they trade for Aaron Judge. Is that what you want me to say?
No, that's not what
I'm going to make it even more outlandish? No, listen. I'm just saying, when healthy, which is like any week now, they're the best team in baseball. And, time isn't real. So, therefore, the Padres are the best team right now. All right?
I could make the argument that when healthy, the Mets are the best team in baseball. I'm not gonna do that.
Well,
irrelevant.
that's Jacob DeGrom's never gonna pitch. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
My point exactly. When healthy, the Mets could be the best team in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but their health concerns are so far out into the future. DeGrom might not pitch until after the All-Star break. Tatis is going to be back any week now. He's going to be back this week or next.
All right. I don't respect your opinion.
I disrespectful.
I respect both of your opinions. I think those are both very good answers. I think they're safe answers. I want to, take a step forward. Have a conversation here, because that's what this whole show is about, is having a conversation about sports. And,
right.
If I just said, yeah, no, I agree with you guys, it's the Dodgers. That would have been a boring...
No, it would have been. It would have been
a boring 5 minutes.
Yeah.
A boring question.
Mm.
But, I picked the Padres, and I truly do believe they're the best team in baseball right now.
Okay. As long as you believe that.
I do.
I trust your opinion.
I've talked myself into this long enough. Where
I trust your opinion. I don't agree. I want this to be abundantly clear that I don't agree. I think there's at least 3 teams that are better than the Padres. At least.
Who's the other one?
I think
the Mets and the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers. That's just off the
I
top
think they're
of my
better than
head.
the Mets.
Okay, I don't.
The Mets have played way more games. That's the only reason why their record looks better.
It's not about their record.
I'm just saying the Mets aren't as good. The Mets aren't as good, Jeremy.
Okay.
The Mets aren't as good.
Okay, yeah.
Pete Alonso's good, but he's not Manny Machado. And the Mets are going to match. Actually, no, the Mets can be fine this year.
The Mets have been the opposite of Mets this year.
Yeah, the Mets have been really good this year.
Yeah, the Astros, I think they might be better than the Padres.
Yeah. I think that's a more realistic conversation than the Mets.
And if we're going to talk about records, the Twins.
No. When healthy.
The Twins have been good. Correa was out for a while. They need a lot. I think they have a lot more holes than the Padres.
No. Yeah. So I think the Padres are a good team. Don't get me wrong. I have the Padres in the playoffs. I have them as my first wild card. But I think there's still 3, 4, maybe 5 teams that are better than them.
I think that's preposterous.
Okay.
Laughable even.
Laughable even, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that you think there's 4 or 5 better teams than the Padres.
I just named 4. I did. I literally just named 4.
The Mets aren't better.
I know, but that's what you think.
No, that's what it's just a fact. It's not opinion, it's fact.
No, you're wrong.
I am not.
Look, you can't say it's fact because it's not fact.
It is fact.
It's not.
It is fact. It's fact.
I disagree.
Give me the numbers.
Jeff McNeil's super overperforming, so is Mark Canha, and those are 2 of the better hitters on the team. Francisco Lindor is legit. I think he's really good. I just don't think he's like a difference maker. Manny Machado is.
I think you could make an argument for the Rays and the Blue Jays. I think you make an argument.
I'm trying to think of the Rays and Blue Jays lineup right now. Because I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think there's a rotation better than the Padres right now.
No, I don't think they are either. I don't think they are, but I think you could make an argument. I think you could make an argument for those 2 teams.
I think the Rays. When I'm looking at the Padres roster, I think Luke Voit needs to get back on track, and I think they need to get another bullpen arm. That's the only things I think. I think those are the 2 holes. Otherwise, I think this is again one of the best lineups in baseball, best rosters in baseball. I think every roster right now has holes. Dodgers pitching depth still scares me. Yankees outside of Judge. Joey Gallo has not been good. Giancarlo's, he's streaky.
He's been fine.
He's streaky, but that's Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Pitching's been really good.
Rizzo's been okay.
Rizzo has been good. Donaldson. And I think they also need a bullpen armor, too. I think Chad Green went down with an injury. Aroldis Chapman has not been good. But, yeah.
No. I understand. I think the Padres are probably a top 5 team in the league. I think they're a top 5 team in the league. But I don't think they're the best.
I think Tyler McGill is out. Or Tyler McGill. He's out too. Yeah, he's out though. I think he's hurt. I think they've literally lost half of their rotation that they were going to have on opening day.
They're still winning games.
They're still winning games, it's true. That lineup's really good.
When healthy.
I'm just saying Tatis can be back before most of these people.
No, you're right. He will be back before most of them. And I understand. But I think I need to see Tatis come back and be Tatis. Because he was, he wasn't his best at the end of last season. And then he gets hurt in the offseason. And, I need him to come back and prove that he's all the way back,
Yeah.
That not only physically but also mentally, because that was a thing last year. He kind of checked out.
I mean, last year he put up 7.3 F4.
At the end of the year, and he checked out. You know that. Yes, they put him in the outfield and he checked out.
Okay. In case you're wondering, like where he's at, he is getting a CT scan, according to Kevin Ace of the San Diego Tribune, on his wrist. And then after that, he got a CT scan yesterday. I haven't seen anything out today, so he should be back, at least hitting. And then, even if they just DH him and steal at bats from Voit,
Right.
Yeah. Because, it's left wrist. So I guess it's just fielding. Love how it feels. He can still, I don't know. Where it's hard, brain no work. He can throw, which is all that really matters. But yeah, that's all I have for baseball. Do we want to talk about that? No, that's fine. Apparently the Marlins had a team meeting, and then, according to Don Mattingly, their manager, and apparently it didn't go very well.
Oh, that's a shame.
Good for them.
I like the Marlins. Yeah,
they need somebody like Nick Castellanos. If only they had like a GM or a CEO that really wanted him, that would have recruited him, and like that he fully thought he was going to go to until he quit.
Yeah.
If only.
What are you gonna do?
What do? What do you want to talk about? Talk about some NBA finals?
NBA finals, yeah.
I want to talk about some NBA.
I was a bit shocked how much time they give them in between games.
Yeah, because it's 3 days. 3 days.
And then hockey, it's every
pretty
much 2 days. Yeah.
They do Thursday, Sunday. That's just a thing they do in the finals. And then travel days you need because they're going from West Coast to East Coast.
That's fair.
So they need 3 days. I don't know why they did 3 days in between game 1 and 2. I think they wanted the Sunday prime time.
And then NHL's like, fuck it, we're putting you through the grinder. You're playing every other day.
Well, the NBA was every other day until the finals. They wanted the Sunday prime time. They always do Thursday, Sunday. That's just what they do. I think after this one, when they're staying in the same city, they'll do every other day. I need to look at the schedule, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I got you.
Anyway, we'll get to the NBA finals in a second. We've had one major piece of NBA news. The Jazz head coach Quinn Snyder, he stepped down from the team this week. Quinn Snyder was the second winningest coach in Jazz team history. He was very good. The Jazz were in a weird spot where they have some pieces in Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, but they weren't really getting anywhere. And with the first round exit, we talked about it a little bit. it seemed like they were on the verge of getting rid of one of them. And it seemed like Donovan Mitchell wasn't very happy. And, Quinn Snyder steps down, puts the Jazz in a spot where they need to catch up on the coaching searches because all the other coaches, all the other teams have been interviewing for a while. And Donovan Mitchell, their star player, said he's not sure. He's unsure about his future with the team because the coach stepped down. Now, it seemed like he wanted out anyway, but this, I guess, gives him... He said he's unsure about what's going to happen. And that leads us to a weird question, and I'm not sure. You'll have to... I don't remember if we talked about it. What do the Jazz do now? Do the Jazz blow it up? Do the Jazz try again? What do they do? What do they do here?
I think when you're stuck in mediocrity, the best thing to do is just to blow it up. Like if you're in that in between. And how long have they been a playoff team for? Or do they just kind of just now become relevant again?
5 years or so. They've been a top 4 seed in the West.
Yeah, I feel like it's about time just to... You had your window. Looks like it's going to close. Just kind of rebuild from here.
See, I wouldn't say it's closing. Donovan Mitchell is still very young, Wait,
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Do you think they just do nothing? Like if nothing changes, like this roster, or like it's as is, they're gonna make the playoffs next year, right?
Yes.
And just very minute changes that would happen anyway.
So
they would still make the playoffs.
So what they've done, that's exactly what they've done the last 3-4 years, right? And last year was the biggest one. They needed to add one more star. They needed to add one more guy if they wanted to make some noise, right? And they just said, fuck it, we're good enough. We're going to roll with basically the exact same roster. And that got them eliminated in the first round. Mm-hmm. So they need to do something in the offseason. They need to prove that they are trying to win and not just be a really good regular season team. Because it's the same thing that happens every year. They're really good in the regular season. They lock up a top 4 seed in the West. And then they implode in the playoffs. Usually the second round.
But this all hinges on if you get Donovan Mitchell back.
No, he's under contract.
Yeah.
He'll be back unless they trade him. Which you could get a haul for him. But I don't know.
It's just iffy if you have a superstar wanting to leave. Then that kind of creates a weird, especially if he's under contract, it's kind of that locker room situation.
Right. Yeah. And there's rumors that he doesn't like Rudy Gobert that much, who's the other star on the team. It's not the greatest situation.
Yeah. A lot of ifs. I think if I was the GM at this point, I would just try to see what I can get for Donovan Mitchell and start the rebuild.
All right.
Doesn't hurt to float that name around and see what you can get for him.
Get a lot for him.
Exactly.
I wouldn't trade him. I know. I'd wait to see. First thing I'd do is I'd hire a coach, right?
Yeah.
I'd have Donovan Mitchell have input in that. I'd have him basically pick the coach. That way he has a reason to want to stay. Then once he picked the coach, I'd go out, if I was the GM, and I'd get a third piece. And if it doesn't work after that, I think Donovan Mitchell has 1 or 2 years left on his deal. If it doesn't work next season, after you get a coach that Mitchell likes, and you go out and you try to get another guy, you go pick another guy.
Who would be that guy who's available?
There's not too many guys out there, but you can try and make a trade. Yeah. You can try and get Tyler Hero, a guy like that from the Heat. He might not want to go to Utah. That transition from Miami to Utah doesn't sound much fun. But,
yeah, that's a lot of what ifs.
But he's out. There's a bunch of guys that are going to be free agents, maybe. DeAndre Ayton, he could be a guy from the Suns. You could go get him. That could be a nice fit, actually. But they need to go get a guy, and they need to get a coach that Donovan Mitchell likes. And aside from that, there's not much you can do. You can't be complacent. That's the one thing you can't be. If you're complacent again, that's when shit goes down the drain. That's when you have to trade people.
Well, this is like the crossroads here. You got to make a big decision, and one's gonna head in one direction, one's gonna head in the other, and it's just like, do you still go up that staircase, or do you decide to go down to the basement and blow it up?
There's no reason to blow it up right now. There really isn't. They have a solid team. There's no reason to blow it up. They just need to go get someone, and I think they have a chance. I like this Jazz team a lot. They need a third star. They need a guy.
Okay, so all I'm gonna say, right, is there's an old adage: anything happens once you make the playoffs. Just keep it together, make everybody happy, get them to the playoffs. You never know what happens. Worst case scenario, you just get on that playoff revenue. That if I'm the front office, if I'm ownership, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And
it's very fair.
That's what they are thinking.
That's what they've been doing. That's what
you're gonna keep doing. Because I'm gonna be honest, you're not having like this big market you have to answer to in Utah. All right, like
what are you talking about?
It's not like
all the Mormons there.
It's
Mormons
not
love
like
basketball.
It's not like you're in this big like sports market. You're not in New York. You're not in Boston. You're not in Philly. You can just be not mediocre, because if you're making the playoffs consistently, you're not mediocre. Average. You're an above average team. Just keep doing that. Just keep doing that.
The Jazz are a historic franchise. The Jazz are historically one of the better franchises in the NBA.
Because they keep making the playoffs.
No, because they've had some of the greatest players. They had Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much. I'm assuming you guys don't know much about them.
No third star there.
Karl Malone sounds familiar.
This is very good. John Stockton's one of the greatest point guards of all time. What do you mean,
He was okay.
What do you mean, He's like
Go on.
He's like one of the assist leaders in the NBA.
Listen, you say Yankees, I say Padres.
This is not up for debate. This right here is not up for debate.
Oh, it's fact now, huh? When I say it's fact.
John Stockton is one of the greatest point guards of all time. He is definitely a top 10 point guard.
I don't mess with you, Jeremy. It's okay.
No, but the Jazz have been very good for a long time. They're a historic franchise. You don't want to be complacent there. You don't want to. And the NBA fans, the Jazz have a very big fan base. They were very good in the 80s and 90s. They have a fan base.
30 years ago.
Yes, but these are the people now that are the huge fans of these teams. These are like the big, these are the parents of these kids that are taking them to games and watching games and being like, this is my team. It's going to rub off on them, If a team wants to stay relevant, they need to have those fans, You need to have the fans that...
Great way to have fans make the playoffs every year.
It is a great way to have fans. You know what's a better way to have fans? Win a fucking championship.
Yeah.
Only one team can win the championship, Jeremy. They can't all do it. This isn't a participation trophy.
You're right. Not every team can win the championship, which is why it's so important that when you have a window like the Jazz have right now, that you go and try and get it.
Yeah, you never know once you make playoffs.
I'm trying to think. Who else, outside of the Warriors, right? The Suns,
Phoenix
who knows
is
if they
still
bounce
good.
back next year.
They'll be fine.
It depends on Chris Paul.
Yeah, it does. But they'll be fine.
You have the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They're in a similar situation, actually. They have two really good stars. If they get a third one, I think they can be contenders.
You got Denver and you got Memphis. I think there's three really good teams. And then there's the Jazz.
So it's gonna be tough.
The Jazz are a top 4 team in the West.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I know that's what you just said. That's what the Jazz.
But are they gonna supplant the other top three in it?
They absolutely could if they add another piece. They absolutely could.
I can see them passing the Nuggets.
The Nuggets are
And
not
the
a top. They're a
Grizzlies?
very good team, but they were a 6th seed last year. This year.
Who's the top 4 then, Jeremy, according to you?
Top 4, you've got the Suns.
The
you've got
Warriors.
the Warriors. You've got the
Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis is up there. I don't know. Yeah, Memphis is up there, and then you got the Jazz. I think the Lakers could throw themselves back into conversation if they get healthy. Because you never count out LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And
Especially
the Nuggets, the same situation with the Nuggets. If the Nuggets get healthy, they're definitely a top 4 team. But right now, 2 of their 3 stars have been hurt for the past 2 years. So,
Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, at this point, the Suns are a big if too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I seriously think that the Jazz can make a push for it. They just need a 3rd star. They need to get someone.
yeah, but that's like a big, like,
Yeah.
a
People on the
big
market.
thing to get.
They don't need a LeBron. They don't need a Giannis. They need a DeAndre Ayton. They need a 3rd guy. They maybe a 2nd guy, but they need a dude. They need someone that'll help them. They need a guy.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see who they get then.
Yeah.
Zion.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
It wouldn't be a bad spot for him. Zion needs to go to a place without distractions so he can get to basketball because Utah.
Wow.
Yes, there's no distractions in Utah.
I don't know, man. Those Mormons. Famous.
Yeah, church. The Mormon church.
All right, anyways.
Anyway. NBA Finals. 2 games in the books. Series is tied at 1. Celtics won game 1. They had an historic comeback there. In game 2, the Warriors decided to learn how to shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to.
No, I'm shooting, yeah.
Yeah. If the Warriors are shooting, the Celtics are fucked. It's honestly, it's pretty simple. You can talk about it in all sorts of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it didn't help that 3 starters of the Celtics in game 2 combined for 7 points. It's not good. You can't have that and win a game. But it also doesn't help the Celtics that Curry was lights out. Jordan Poole decided to just be able to shoot from half court.
It was game 1. Never mind.
And Klay Thompson was not very good, but he can turn it on at any time. Maybe we'll have to see. So it's not very good for the Celtics right now, but they're going home. We talked about home court advantage a little bit in the hockey segment, and that's going to be massive in TD Garden.
By the way, they do play. They play tomorrow, and then they play Friday, and then the next games are 3 days apart.
There it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was just waiting for us to get to the NBA Finals before bringing that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that's the situation there. I don't know if you guys had thoughts on these games.
I didn't watch them. Again, starting working again is not really good for your watching sports, especially if you got to watch a hockey game or the NBA game, then you got to go to bed. I'm going to watch the hockey game.
The hockey game was at 3 p.m.
When? Sunday?
Yeah.
What was my schedule Sunday? I was pretty much working I think I was working all day Sunday. Then I was tired and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I started work at 1 and I started work at 11. I worked till close. So.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Kind of haven't been able to watch sports when you
once it's a more important game, I'll watch an NBA game.
Oh, right. Once it's a more important game, like the NBA Finals game, not 1 and 2.
Yeah. If it's game 5 and the series is tied at 2 or 6, game 5, 6, and 7, that's where it's at.
Right. It's not like it's the championship series. It's not that important,
You just catch me when like they're about to win it or something.
Right, but I gotta go turn on
Last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Jeremy, he's waiting for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's always watching.
And that's fair. Watch the last 5 minutes. That's fine. But he can't watch the NBA Finals. He's got to turn on Game 76 of the Wild's regular season.
Exactly. I gotta watch Kirill Kaprizov light it up. Best player in franchise history.
It's okay. He's getting traded away soon anyway.
How dare you? How dare if we trade him? I am disowning that franchise. No longer a Wild fan. I'd be that pissed.
What are you gonna be then?
Caps, just full on Caps from that point on.
All right, so just watch out. So just wait for.
Now, what if they trade him to the Caps?
Look, man.
They don't have the cap space. That would have to be like, you would have to. Washington would have to clear out a ton of cap space in order for
They'd
that
have to
happen.
trade someone like, say, TJ Oshie.
No.
Yeah.
No, what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 1-for-1 swap. Okay. Kaprizov for Alex Ovechkin. Who says no?
The Capitals. The Capitals say no.
You're right. Exactly.
Honestly, though, who would you rather have now? Like, if you want it.
No. This is not about.
Because Kirill's the better long-term option.
If you're talking.
But Ovi, you keep Ovi because it's Ovi.
Strictly business. You take the deal if you're the Capitals.
Yeah.
You don't trade your franchise guy. You don't trade him. He's playing out his years in Washington.
Who's about to break the all-time goal record.
You're not trading him.
Yeah.
He's right in the game before.
No, yeah. Anyway, Shane, watch out for March 18th, 2025.
2025.
Yeah. Mark it down.
Put in your calendar.
As the day.
Trade.
That's great to know.
March 24th, 2025.
18th.
Oh, sorry, 18th. March 17th, 2025.
Wow, they're going to trade him after
No, wait.
They're going to find a way to trade him after the trade deadline.
No,
Wait.
the deadline's before the 18th. Or it's after the 18th.
March 17th, 2025. Jeremy Lapidus gets named the GM of the Minnesota Wild. Shit's like, oh, fuck.
First order of business.
March 19th, 2025. Interim GM Jeremy Lapidus steps down. But yeah, who's winning?
The NBA Finals?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Boston.
Warriors.
Discuss.
I'm still staying loyal to my prediction from earlier. That's all I've got going for me. And it's just Boston, that defense has to come through at some point, and you just got to hope that the Warriors can't shoot. That's all it comes down to. Yeah.
When Curry's on, he's on, and you can't stop it. When Poole is on, he's on, and you can't stop it. When Clay is on, he's on, and you cannot stop it. There's nothing the Celtics can do. There's nothing they can do. That's about it. They're kind of fucked. Ooh.
I just got to double down. I'm staying loyal till the end.
It's fair.
So statistically, right, the Warriors need 2 of their starters to be on, right, to win that game. Because Curry was on game 1. He broke the record for most threes.
He went cold in the fourth quarter, and that's when the Celtics came back.
Yeah, last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, but he put his team in the game in the lead for the whole rest of the game though.
Yeah.
He had 21 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, he was very, very good for the first 3 quarters, but the Celtics had a comeback, had one of the best comebacks in finals history. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Warriors are winning. Good night.
Yeah.
Warriors in 7.
I agree. Warriors in 7.
That's what I want.
That's what
Not
you
necessarily what I think. I want this game to go 7. This series to go 7. I think it'll be fun. I think it's a fun series, fun matchup.
Want. Yeah, that's right.
Two really good teams. Yeah. That's all we have for NBA, right?
Yep.
That is all we have for the NBA. We have a couple talking points in the NFL real quick.
No.
What do you mean no?
Sorry, I just had to. I forgot what we were talking about, so I had to pull up the notes
Okay.
on my phone.
Yeah, a couple things went down in the NFL. Oh, something else came out. We'll start with that. Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll start
Yeah.
I
with
saw the headline.
we're starting off with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there was just a new alert. Two new lawsuits have come against him, number 23 and 24. And it just came out in a New York Times report that Deshaun Watson booked massage appointments with I want you to guess the number, Shane.
I already have the number right here.
I know
so.
you have the number. That's
30.
More.
40.
Wait, no,
More.
give him the time frame.
56.
17 months.
More.
In 17 months.
69.
Less.
65.
66.
Ah.
66 people. 66
In 17
different
months.
Massage.
Oh. I don't know if I died or they died.
The guy we want to trade 3 first-round picks for.
Yeah, this is their adult at quarterback.
Just so you guys know, my internet really kind of just decided I'm going to miss that entire little bit. So I missed everything after we told Shane the number. If was anything important there.
No, nothing
No.
important.
It was
No,
just Shane
Just
realizing
dissing the,
how an awful human being Deshaun Watson is.
and
Okay,
then
cool.
just disgusted with the Browns for thinking, yeah, this is our guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they did their due diligence.
Oh, they did, yes. And then the judge
Yeah.
came out and said they never talked to him.
It's
They did their due diligence. They said
Allegedly.
they wanted an adult at quarterback, and you know what they did? They got an adult at quarterback.
An adult criminal.
Mm-hmm. No, not a criminal. All criminal charges. were
Oh,
dropped.
sorry. An alleged criminal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All criminal charges were dropped. He's good to go, guys. He's only facing 24 civil suits. His lawyer only went on a radio show in Houston and said that it's normal and it's okay and legal for happy endings to happen in massages.
Anyways,
Oh my God.
Aaron Donald got a big contract, didn't he?
So yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
He's an awful human being.
Deshaun Watson, not Aaron Donald.
Yes, no, we love Aaron
Yeah.
Donald.
Aaron Donald's great.
Fuck Deshaun Watson. I hope he never sees the football field again.
Yep.
Do you think NFL steps in here?
The NFL is doing an investigation. They're going to suspend him for a year. That's what they're going to do. It's not enough.
I love how it's like 1 or 2, like maybe 1. All right, fluke. But 24.
24.
You're obviously doing something wrong.
24 out of 66.
Yeah.
That's like a lot. I'm not going to do the math.
It's like, come the fuck on.
That's more than a third.
Who in the right mind
I don't think any.
thought that was it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's move on to
Anyway,
Aaron Donald. We've talked
Aaron
enough
Donald.
about that. Yeah. Man got paid.
Man didn't get paid. It was not an extension, as I told you in the group chat. That was misinformation, unfortunately. It was a raise. It was a raise to stop him from retiring because retirement was a real possibility for him. He is now the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL in league history. $95 million contract over 3 years. He's very, very good at football.
He deserves it.
Deserves all of
First
the money
ballot Hall of
and more.
Famer.
Absolutely. He is 2 or 3 time Defensive Player of the Year. He is arguably the best defensive player of all time. Definitely top 3. Aaron Donald is so good at football. He deserves it. He deserves more money. He should be paid like a quarterback. They're not going to pay him like a quarterback yet, but he deserves it. And I'm glad he's not retiring yet because he's still got so much left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How old is he?
he's like 31, something like that. Let me look it up.
And pretty good. He hasn't really gotten injured that much, despite that position.
He's 31, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so good at this. Yeah, no, he hasn't been hurt all that often, and yeah, I'm glad he won a ring. I'm very happy he got a ring. So good for him.
That's the legacy.
That's the legacy right there. Let's see. Jimmy G. Good old buddy Jimmy G. He was excused from minicamp, basically saying, "Hey, yeah, we're doing Trey Lance this year. We're gonna try and get you off the books, just get you out of here." But I don't know if there's really a team that's gonna trade for him. Is the issue. Or a team that's gonna trade for him right now. It's gonna be one of those things that. Excuse me.
The Panthers?
They drafted a quarterback and they got Sam Darnold.
Who's
So the Panthers.
Who did I forget? Who did the Commanders get?
Carson Wentz.
No, it's not good, but they're paying him a lot of money.
Yeah, and they already traded for Carson Wentz, so.
Yeah, I know they traded for him. I remember they traded for somebody. I just couldn't remember who. Who did the Colts have then?
They got Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
No clue who that is.
He was MVP. He was on the Falcons.
Lost to Tom Brady.
That's right. I remember now.
Yeah. 28-3, good dude.
Who's the?
I mean, the Lions. That would be an upgrade, but they don't really need him right now.
The Jets.
Zach Wilson.
The Jets they're trying to develop Zach Wilson.
No, the Jets. It's the Jets, baby. Always was the Jets.
I mean, Houston, but they had Mills.
Houston wants Davis Mills. They're going to try and develop him. Jimmy G will get traded to a team whose quarterback gets injured this season. That's what's going to happen. If there's a quarterback that gets hurt, that's where Jimmy G will be traded to. I don't know where that's going to be, but he's not getting traded until the season starts. What, Hayden?
I was thinking, right? We're talking about traded. What about someone who gets suspended for a year?
They have Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Brissett.
They have Jacoby Brissett too?
Yep, they signed him.
Damn.
They don't need another quarterback.
Yeah.
They need a third, a fourth, and a fifth. I'm just trying to run through teams in my brain. Who do the Saints have?
They
Jameis
got
Winston.
Jameis Winston, yeah.
He was doing all right till he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
When did he tear his ACL?
Halfway through the season.
He's gonna be healthy. It was like week 4 or 5. He'll be
Okay,
healthy.
yeah, week 4 or 5, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of teams because I'm not super. Like, I know like the top QBs where they're at, but like kind of like those middling teams.
Right.
Who's the bet? Does Miami have a bet? I know you're Tua as your guy.
They signed Bridgewater. They're not going to trade for him if you have a solid backup in Teddy.
Yeah. I mean, if you have Tua, too.
Yeah.
The best QB in the league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's the best lefty in the league.
He's the best QB in Florida, I think.
I think he's the best lefty quarterback of all time. No, that's a lie. I think he's the second best lefty quarterback of all time.
I think
he's number one.
Steve Young.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
He's the best QB in Florida. Heard it here first.
Yeah, I'll let you think that.
Definitely the best QB in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else would be there?
I think whoever.
I mean, other than
can't-
Jimmy
you're right,
G when he
Jim.
goes to Tampa.
Right. I can't quite think of another team. Maybe Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Him maybe.
He's going to Tampa, guys. Jimmy G. They need a
Right.
QB.
They do
Yeah.
need a QB.
Someone who can humble a certain quarterback a little.
They should
Reunited.
They should.
Honestly,
Get the Italians back together.
They should. My dream team right there.
ugh. Anyway, we are less than 100 days from NFL football, and I'm very excited about it.
I'm very sad about it.
Why?
Baseball's better.
No comment.
I disagree.
Doesn't even want to look at you after that statement.
Anyway, Hayden,
Jeremy.
it's time for my favorite segment on our show.
Mm-hmm.
A segment I like to call
Mm-hmm.
Hayden's Question of the Week.
Yeah.
What is your question of? Do you have a question for us?
I do have
Hayden?
a question.
Okay.
So I don't know how in how much you guys. I know Shane, you don't go on Twitter at all. Jeremy, you don't go on Twitter a whole lot if it's not sports.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was this like little thing going around, doing the rounds on Twitter. So, how would you feel if you were at a wedding, right? And there's no food. Nope. Let me finish. There's no food because they paid Disney to have Minnie and Mickey Mouse show up to their wedding for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, by the way. No food, though.
I would leave.
I'd
stay for the ceremony,
I would leave. Yeah, stay for the ceremony and then leave to get food.
and then I'd come back.
I mean, there was places there, but there was no like free like catering or anything like that.
Right. No, I wouldn't be very happy.
Yeah.
It depends on my relationship to the bride and or groom.
Now, do you think you would, kind of like vague post and like be passive aggressive on
No.
Facebook about it?
No.
Oh. Well, that was why the
Because-
whole thing went viral, is because their relatives were being passive aggressive on Facebook.
I mean, I don't
Because
blame them.
Spent the entire catering budget to have Minnie and Mickey Mouse show up to the wedding for 30 minutes. And this is
Good for
why Disney adults terrify me.
I'm glad they're happy. They seem perfect for each
A
other.
bald Disney adult is honestly my worst nightmare.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't think it matters what my previous relationship to the bride and groom would be. They wouldn't be that close to them after that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm not too, not too jazzed about the whole thing.
Yeah. I forgot to mention this. We had a JMU sports like update, kind of not really,
Oh,
with the
That's so
Chase
exciting.
Delauder stuff.
oh yes, I saw something about it.
So it looks like we kind of narrowed it down to where Chase Delauder is going to be getting picked. I believe the Brewers, or no, it's the Guardians, have the 15th overall pick, and that seems like the ceiling. Based
Thought
off of,
anywhere from like 15 to 27.
I think that's what I said. Was no, I think it. Well, I think I texted you guys, didn't I?
You probably did.
I
I
did.
remember the number
Yeah,
27.
it was 16 to 27. It's the Guardians and the Brewers. It seems like somewhere in that first round range he'd be going. But yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Emergency.
Emergency.
Before we end the show.
Oh? So means you got traded.
We forgot to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, the legend.
45-minute segment incoming, by the way, guys.
45 minute segment incoming. Right, Hayden?
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick retired, along with Frank Gore and a couple other dudes. But
Al Gore?
I didn't realize Frank
Yeah.
Gore was still playing.
Al
He did play
Gore
last
played
year.
football? I thought he was
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah.
I thought he was like a vice president or something.
Yeah, Frank Gore, third leading rusher of all time.
His name was Al.
1,600 yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank was his middle name.
Oh, okay.
He retired. He signed a one-day contract with the 49ers and retired with them. So, good for him. You know. He's
Really
very good
great
at football.
career.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. 1,600 yards, third all time. What's up, Hayden?
Sorry, I just googled Al Gore football.
What did you find?
Frank Gore.
Yeah, he ran against Bush for president,
Mm.
and then he started his NFL career.
Yeah, he ran against Bush for president, and then he ran over people on the football field, you know?
And now he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Guys,
What?
apparently he threw a football in the what's the boat? Not the boat, the plane. The airboat.
Airboat?
The airboat that the president's flying.
I don't know.
Okay, well he's throwing a football in it. Like yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He played 17 years for like 82 teams.
Mm-hmm. Math checks out.
Yeah. He Harvard grad. Fun dude to watch, you know? Hell of a career. He's probably not going to be a Hall of Famer, but, you know, he was a fun guy to watch.
Definitely going to be
Hayden,
talked about well afterwards.
Hayden, I know you prepared a 45-minute segment.
Yeah, I did.
So I'm gonna turn it over to you now.
Sorry, I'm just really trying to wrap my head around this Frank Gore, Al Gore thing. I think I'm gonna need to put that off until next show. I just need a minute.
I'll keep you on that.
Okay.
We'll circle back to your segment next show.
Got it.
Anyway, that was. I don't know if you guys had anything that we forgot. Y'all got anything?
No. Shane?
No?
I'm good.
Hayden? No.
Hayden? Shane?
Jeremy?
Hayden?
Jeremy.
Anyway, thank you everybody for listening and watching the Triple Threat Show. I have been Jeremy Lapidus, your host, joined as always by my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland.
And
Hayden Raymer.
Thank you so much for listening and watching on YouTube at the Triple Threat Show.